The member for Parramatta is a serious person with a serious intellect, but that was not a serious contribution. It was not a serious contribution for one of the most important debates this parliament has had, which is about keeping the public safe. And that goes to whether the people trust this government to keep them safe. And when given an opportunity to answer questions or to explain themselves, the ministers, the relevant ministers, engage in whataboutism. In fact, the member for Parramatta commenced his contribution with welcoming this as an opportunity to talk about the greatest hits of the opposition. Greatest hits. That's a cute line, but it's not a serious contribution. Not a serious contribution. And in addition to blame, we've actually seen the government seek to blame the High Court. They've said they were surprised by this. It was a jack-in-the-box judgment. It was like, surprise! No one expected that. No one expected it. Well, let's interrogate that. We had the reasons on Tuesday from the High Court on the 28th of November, and I want to go through the relevant timeline. On the 7th of 8th of November, we had the hearing and the order. So the 8th of November was the date that the government claims it was surprised that a 20-year precedent had been overturned. But let's go back further. On the 1st of September, we had submissions made in this matter, and on the 2nd of June, we had a special leave application. So over the preceding months, a lot of things happened, a lot of serious things by serious people who took a lot of work on this question. And they didn't do it because it was pointless, because it was going to get nowhere. They did it because they thought it had a proper and probable chance of success. And the government knew that too. I want to note some things. In the proceedings of the special leave application and the 2 days of hearings, there was 99 pages of transcript. 99 pages of transcript. That involved 14 counsel. 14 counsel, 6 of which were silks. 6 silks and 8 juniors, plus all of the solicitors. It involved the full bench of the High Court, 7 High Court judges, with all of their staff and all of the resources. They were considering written submissions that went to 94 pages. 94 pages. And I'd like to reference some of those. The plaintiff's submissions in paragraph 1 says this: the plaintiff accepts that propositions are contrary to Al-Kitab. To the extent necessary, that submission should be overruled. Paragraph 1, they were flagging what the purpose of this case was about. Then the respondent submissions throughout note that this is the question before the court, this very question. It acknowledges that the first issue, and this is paragraph 1, which the ministers would have signed off on, accordingly, the first issue is whether leave should be granted to reopen Al-Kitab. If that leave is granted, the second issue is the correctness of the construction. That was the question. That was the debate before the High Court. And then through all of the submissions and all of the work, the government would have us believe that they were all wasting their time. All of these submissions were just put together for a pointless debating exercise. 7 justices of the High Court, 14 counsel, 6 silks, some of the best in the country. We had the plaintiff, the defendant. We had the Human Rights Law Commission make submissions. And their submissions also noted that there's a serious question about Al-Kitab, a serious question. But again, the government would have us believe that they were all wasting their time. And the Shadow Minister made a very important point. A very important point. Cases are decided by facts and law. Facts and law. And we had 14 counsel. 14 counsel make submissions on the law. But they would have taken on instructions the facts. On instructions the facts. They would have had a conference. They would have sat down with the minister and the minister's advisor and the department. And they would have put in the documents no real prospect of being removed. The very fact that decided this case was on instruction from the minister. On instruction from the minister. So you can't say, this was a surprise, I wasn't ready. For anyone who has looked after others, you can hope for the best, but you plan for the worst. And what is clear, there was no planning from this government, and this is on them. Hear, hear.